Hey there Trekkies, my name is Michael, aka the TrekLad. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's still probably obsessing over the trailers for the upcoming seasons of Star Trek that we got this past Monday, Star Trek First Contact Day. Surely I'm not the only one. Interestingly, of all the trailers that we saw, the one trailer that has just stuck in my mind has been, Picard Season 2. I really didn't expect that to be the case because, as most of you know, I didn't like Picard. But gosh darn it, that teaser was so intriguing. So many Easter eggs and so many potential directions that they can take the story in Season 2. Am I going to be watching this show despite Season 1? Damn right I am. I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm going to watch everything. Doesn't matter. I made a video earlier on this week with some really rough theories and thoughts about what we saw in the trailer. And I stand by some of that. And if you haven't seen that video already, there's the link to go and have a look at it. I also live streamed some much wilder, less fleshed out theories that I had as well. But there's one that I didn't mention, and one that could very realistically happen given what we know about the people that are coming back, what we know about Patrick Stewart, and what we know about the Star Trek universe in general. Yes, obviously, if you've clicked on this video, it's probably because of the thumbnail and the title. I think that Picard Season 2 is going to give us a really good opportunity to give us a new, younger version of Picard. Now, with Q coming into play, obviously time travel is being thrown up as a real good opportunity to do that. I'm still not sure if time travel is going to be extensively used, but I think what we could get, realistically, is some sort of flashback showing a younger Picard, potentially on the Stargazer. We saw plenty of shots of the Stargazer, maybe at Starfleet Academy, maybe somewhere else as a young ensign or whatever. You know, the possibilities are truly endless, and I can't put something concrete together with 60 seconds of footage. I'm going to try and guess though. I'm taking this from sources that aren't particularly reliable, but there was some rumblings during the break between seasons 1 and 2 that they were having some trouble potentially insuring Patrick Stewart, given the fact that he is of a certain age now. And we also saw in season 1 that he isn't really suited to any kind of action scene. I mean, I don't want to see him try and run up some stairs again anytime soon. Not after that. This is a rough place for the show to be in because it's called Picard. You have to have Picard in it. You have to have a lot of Picard in it. And I think if they're going to learn anything from season 1, it's that perhaps sidelining the title character in his own story is maybe not the best way to go. So for me, a flashback and the introduction of a younger, fitter, more able Jean-Luc Picard just seems to make sense. I don't know if we'll get a young Picard for the whole series. I'm sure we can explore the past for at least 1 or 2 episodes. This raises the question, who could be that younger Jean-Luc Picard? Now, there's been no shortage of content for years doing fantasy recasts of TNG, recasting Jean-Luc Picard, and people who have speculated on a number of actors who could potentially fill those wonderful English-French shoes. I think most of those fantasy casting articles or content are pretty much just that. They're fantasy. Usually the suggestions are just wild and aren't really grounded in the harsh realities of what we know is life. Usually it's people like James McAvoy or Tom Hardy. You can rule out Tom Hardy. He is just too big an actor. It's very likely that Picard just won't have the budget, in addition to Patrick Stewart and the rest of the people that are coming back, to cater for somebody like a Tom Hardy. It's just not gonna happen. You also see these fantasy articles just try and cast people that just look just like Patrick Stewart. So most of the time it's somebody who is bald or from Yorkshire. What I wanted to do is share some names that I've done a bit of research on, people that might not be so widely known, i.e. affordable, and people who I think have the dynamic range and the chops to pull off a younger JL. At the top of this list, it is, funny enough, James McAvoy, because he has said in the past that he would be willing to step into the shoes. The thing is, though, I think he would only be willing to step into those shoes if the money was right. I don't think they have the budget to pay for somebody as big as James McAvoy. It's just not going to happen. I think it would also be quite lazy as well. I mean, we've already seen James McAvoy as a younger Xavier. It would just be too easy a route to go down. So I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it'd be great. I just don't think it's going to happen. So who do I think could realistically play a younger Jean-Luc Picard? Well, I've got some names here. At the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the top of my list, the people who are probably on the more expensive, a bit more recognised side, and we're going to go down. I'm going to start with the person whose face I photoshopped into the thumbnail. That is Jamie Bell, who is well known for making his debut as the titular character in the film adaptation of Billy Elliot. I think he was actually in the stage production as well. I don't know. He was also in that terrible Fantastic Four movie, but he made up for all of that with a really good supporting turn in the Elton John biopic Rocket Man. He's kind of a very recognisable name, but I think he might be affordable. If, you know, he's kind of like not quite up there, he's a bit down here, but you'd still know his face if you saw it. Next we have Nicholas Hoult, who starred alongside James McAvoy in the X-Men prequel movies as Hank, aka Beast. He was also in Mad Max Fury Road alongside Tom Hardy. Again, another recognisable star, but somebody who might be a little bit more affordable than the people at the top of the list. He also looks quite good if you shaved his head. You don't have to shave someone's head for them to be Patrick Stewart, but I'm sure they'll probably do that anyway, because we as the audience won't believe it's JL if he has hair, maybe. I don't know. Now, the next few names here are a little bit more recognisable, but not universally recognisable. The first person being Theo James, who would be well known to fans of the Divergent movies. Did anybody watch those movies? He was also in the Underworld sequels, the really rubbish Underworld sequels, although I think you could make an argument that most of those films are terrible. Very handsome, very good looking man. Probably a bit too tall. Now, if the show wanted to go even further in the past and potentially explore Jean-Luc Picard as a young cadet and maybe go further back and have a younger, even younger, young JL, a good option could potentially be Thomas Brodie Sangster, who most would know for his supporting role in Game of Thrones. I know him primarily as Liam Neeson's really annoying drummer son from Love Actually. He's young, but he has that kind of wise old man look, which I think it would kind of work. Next on my list is George McKay, who is best known to audiences right now for his brilliant leading performance in Sam Mendes' 1917. Has a very good look, very intense, and English as well, which, and I know American actors can put on English accents, but if you have any American or international picks for Jean-Luc Picard, young Jean-Luc Picard, let me know in the comments below. So these final names are names that I didn't really even know, so I had to really do some extensive Googling and IMDbing here. But the first one, Nick Hendricks, who appeared in Black Mirror, The Crown, and is currently starring in the most English show of all time, Midsummer Murders, has that classic suited look, has an extensive theatre background, has performed a number of Shakespeare plays in the past, but from his experience on Midsummer Murders, we know that he has that leading talent, and that's something that you would feel would be very important for someone playing such an important character. Ben Aldridge would be a good potential pick for a young Jean-Luc Picard. Played Thomas Wayne in the Pennyworth show. I don't know if that show is still happening. He also played the arsehole guy in the wildly successful Fleabag, a show that I've still not seen. Very similar to Nick, theatre background, has that handsome English good look about him. We know that young Johnny was very much a ladies' man back in the day, so you'd have to go with someone with the appropriate looks, right? Nick Blood, someone who appeared in the British show Misfits and then went on to appear in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Again, have no real idea who he is, but he looks the part. Someone, again, who has that classic theatre background, somebody who is English, somebody who just would look an appropriate part. Again, I think he might be a bit too tall. These kind of picks are all kind of let down on height, really. I don't like the idea of heightism, probably because I'm also under 6 foot. Yeah, it's something that upsets me to this day. My final pick is someone called Tom Bateman, who has appeared in Da Vinci's Demons. He was in Kenneth Branagh's Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile movies. He also is the boyfriend, the long-term boyfriend of Daisy Ridley, aka Rey from the Skywalker sequel movies that everybody loves. Good experience, more affordable than the people at the top of this list, and it would be an interesting higher given his other half. Like most of my theories and picks, the names on this list are pretty wild and out there. I just wanted to put together some options that aren't just obvious, bold English people that might be from Yorkshire. The idea of recasting Jean-Luc Picard a few years ago would have just been unthinkable, but this is something that the Kelvin universe has helped change my opinion, because They pulled it off really well with their casting picks. It is something that you can do. And like I said, with Patrick Stewart not being able to put so much physical energy into the role now, having a younger actor fill the shoes and potentially give us maybe some options to flesh out this iconic character could only be a good thing, right? As long as they don't overdo it. I am a fan of some of these iconic characters still having some intrigue and mystery from their past. My personal feelings about it is that I don't mind so much now. If they do this and they bring Q in and they do some sort of Tapestry-esque return to a young Jean-Luc Picard, I would like to see something different to what we saw in Tapestry. We've already seen that done before. So give us something else. Maybe what it is you have Patrick Stewart and Q stood in the corner observing. Maybe that's a way you could do it, and then you could switch to the young perspective. That's probably how I do it, so it's probably not how it's going to go. And also, finally, modern Star Trek does have a tendency to pick people up pretty much straight out of theatre or acting school with very little credits, so the chances of any of these people actually making it to screen as our final young Jean-Luc Picard is like next to zero. But again, I'd love to know who you think could step into the shoes. Let me know in the comments below, and if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this coming very soon. Until the next time, stay happy, stay safe, and live long and prosper.